My story, just like I said a little earlier, Enrich the Soul kind of spawned from just me reflecting on my life and just some of the things that I experienced in my life. As a kid, I watched abuse. I watched my father be abusive to my mother, and sometimes it's still challenging to talk about that because I'm such a daddy's girl. And I actually shared this with him. I told him that I would probably be speaking about this, and he wasn't even aware that I remembered, at 4 years old. So it was kind of like a awakening for him as well as a death for him to hear me say that, because I'm his little girl. So for me to say that was challenging. But to just kind of start from where it began for me, I have to kind of show people how I am the person that I am today. Because with that particular experience, the abuse, after seeing that, I actually started self-afflicting, meaning that my self-esteem was low. I felt like I was inadequate, incompetent. I just wasn't good enough. I didn't matter, and I didn't realize how having those weeds in the base of my foundation started growing with my growth. And I had to start really looking within myself to start plucking those weeds out. And it took work. So choosing you is basically about that. It's about doing the work. Because through watching abuse, even from my grandparents and my aunts and uncles, just watching the different ways people was interacting and just abuse throughout my life, I ended up being in an abusive relationship for about 3 years. And choosing me is when I decided to step away from that relationship and to be on the other side now and to be the woman that I am. I'm so grateful because a lot of women did not make that choice. A lot of women couldn't make the choice. So that's one of the aspects of choosing you is really, just like Margie say, finding your peace, because I knew that I could not live my life in that way. And my daughter was such a new birth for me when I was pregnant with her, with leaving that relationship. So that's the part of choosing you. I chose me also when I stopped and just created boundaries and stopped letting people suck energy from me. Because a lot of times we give so much to people. We give them our ear. Exactly. And they will take. So sometimes I'm like, okay, no, I can't talk right now. I can't do that. Because it's hard sometimes to say no, but you have to say no and say yes to yourself. So I had to start choosing that aspect of myself. Also choosing you, and what I did to choose myself was I pretty much, after creating the boundaries, I had to really, really look within, and I had to stop comparing myself to other people's success.
Yes. Yes.
Because being a hairstylist for over 25 years, now I brand myself more as an image stylist, but being a hairstylist for 25 years, I felt like that's all people saw. And I didn't like that. I said, I'm more than that. I'm bigger than that.
That's right.
So I had to stop looking at what someone else was doing and say, okay, God, just allow me to be okay with me. Allow me to be comfortable with who I am. So that's an aspect of choosing yourself.